You know you should be building something, but you're watching someone else's highlight reel. You're scrolling through success stories at 11 p.m., telling yourself you'll start tomorrow. But here's the thing. The reason you're not moving forward isn't failure. It's that you're thinking too small to even try. David Schwartz nailed this back in 1959. He called it excusitis, the inflammation of your excuse-making organ. And the symptoms look different now, but the disease is the same. Perfectionism, fear of posting, scrolling instead of starting. Your brain is protecting you from discomfort by keeping your goals tiny. Here's what we're doing today. 3 cures that work whether you're launching a side hustle or just trying to stop wasting your potential. Let's go. Schwartz identified 4 strains of excusitis back in the day: health, intelligence, age, and luck. But the modern mutations? They're sneakier. You say, "I'm too busy," when you mean, "I'm scared to prioritize this." You say, "I don't know enough yet," when you mean, "I'm afraid to look stupid." You say, "It's too late for me," when you mean, "I missed the perfect moment, so why bother?" And here's the doom-scrolling strain nobody talks about. You're not tired. You're avoiding the discomfort of starting. Your brain would rather consume other people's wins than risk failing at your own. Schwartz told this story about 2 executives. One blamed his ulcer for his mediocrity. Every setback was because of his health. The other had a heart condition and used it as fuel. He said, "I've got limited time, so I better make it count." Same circumstances, different thinking. Fast forward to 2026. I see this all the time. One creator spends 6 months researching before posting their first video. They're waiting to feel ready. Another one posts messy, gets feedback, iterates fast, and has 50 videos up in the same time frame. Guess who's further ahead? The perfectionism trap is just intelligence excusitis wearing a turtleneck. You're not being thorough, you're being scared. And your brain will always find a reason to stay small because biologically, it's safer. Starting something new means risk. Staying where you are means survival. So here's the vaccine. Catch yourself mid-excuse and ask, is this real, or is this my brain protecting me from growth? Most of the time, it's the second one. Your health isn't the problem. Your intelligence isn't the problem. Your age isn't the problem. The problem is you're letting your brain convince you that small is safe. Schwartz's point was simple. Excuses are the fertilizer for mediocrity. You water them every day with your thoughts, and they grow into your entire identity. The guy who says, "I'm not a morning person," will never be a morning person because he's decided that's who he is. The person who says, "I'm not good at sales," will never get good at sales because they've made it part of their story. So you've identified the disease. Now, let's talk about the cure that actually builds immunity. Schwartz had this insight that most people miss. Confidence isn't a personality trait you're born with. It's a bank account you deposit into daily. And most people are sitting around waiting to feel ready before they do anything. But that's backwards. Confidence comes after action, not before. He called it the front row habit. Sit in the front, speak up first, make eye contact. In 1959, that meant showing up differently in rooms. In 2026, it means post before you're ready. DM someone impressive. Say your idea out loud in the meeting. These are deposits. The fear of posting? That's just a withdrawal you haven't made a deposit for yet. You're trying to pull confidence out of an account that's empty. So, of course, it feels terrifying. You haven't built up the balance. Schwartz told this story about a car salesman. 2 guys, same product, same territory. One walked tall, dressed sharp, acted like he was worth listening to. The other slouched, apologized for taking up time, dressed like he didn't care. The first guy sold twice as much. Not because he was better at sales, because he believed he was worth listening to, and that belief shaped how people responded to him. Now look at LinkedIn. You've got one person writing posts like they're already the expert, clear, confident, no hedging. Then you've got another person apologizing in every caption. Just my thoughts, but, or I'm no expert, but same knowledge, different energy. The first person gets opportunities. The second person gets ignored. Here's what Schwartz understood. Your external behavior shapes your internal belief faster than the reverse. You don't wait to feel confident and then act confident. You act confident and the feeling follows. It's counterintuitive, but it works. So here's a rule I use, the 72-hour rule. When you get an idea that scares you, you have 72 hours to take one action on it, or your brain will kill it. Your brain is incredibly good at talking you out of things. It'll find every reason why it won't work, why you're not ready, why it's not the right time. But if you move within 72 hours, you bypass that. What does a deposit look like? Send the email you've been drafting for 3 weeks. Record the rough draft of the video instead of scripting it perfectly. Ask for the feedback you're avoiding. These aren't big moves. They're small, but they're deposits. And deposits compound. Schwartz's whole point was this: you don't need to feel different to act different. You just need to act different, and the feeling catches up. The confidence comes after you've done the thing 10 times, not before you do it the first time. So if you're sitting there thinking, "I'll start when I feel more confident," you've got it backwards. You'll feel more confident when you start. That's how the account works. You can't withdraw what you haven't deposited. Okay, so you're making deposits. But here's the problem. Your environment is making withdrawals faster than you can build. Schwartz dropped this line that everyone quotes but nobody actually applies. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But let's update that for 2026. You're the average of the 5 feeds you scroll, the 5 podcasts you binge, the 5 group chats you're in. Small thinkers are like secondhand smoke for your brain. You don't notice the damage until it's done. You hang out with people who complain about their jobs but never leave. You follow people who blame the algorithm instead of improving their content. And slowly, without realizing it, you start thinking the same way. Schwartz's advice back then was brutal. If your friends only talk about TV and weather, find new friends. He wasn't saying be a jerk about it. He was saying your environment will either expand your thinking or shrink it. There's no neutral. So here's the 2026 reality check. If your feed is full of people complaining about the algorithm, your brain will think small about the algorithm. If your group chat is full of people making excuses, you'll start making excuses. If the podcast you listen to every day is someone talking about how hard everything is, you'll believe everything is hard. The "I'm just being realistic" friend? That's someone who gave up and wants company. Realism is fine when it's useful, but most of the time, being realistic is just code for "I'm scared, and I want you to be scared too so I feel better." Schwartz had this concept he called your thinking environment. It's not just physical, it's the mental real estate you give to other people's voices, and you need to actively choose who gets access. Because if you're not choosing, your environment is choosing for you. So audit your inputs. Who makes you feel like your goals are too big? Who makes you feel like you're thinking too small? The first group is stealing from your confidence bank. The second group is making deposits for you. This isn't about being fake or cutting people off. It's about protecting your ambition like you'd protect your health. You wouldn't eat junk food every day and expect to feel great. So why would you consume small thinking every day and expect to build something big? One practical move you can make today: join one group, follow one person, or start one conversation with someone 2 steps ahead of you, not 10 steps. 2. Someone who's doing what you want to do, just a little further along. That proximity will shift your thinking faster than any book. So here's what happens when you actually do this. The magic of thinking big isn't magic. It's refusing to let your brain's excuses, your confidence gap, and your environment shrink your goals. Schwartz's promise still holds. You'll be shocked how fast things move when you stop thinking like everyone else. One action today. Make one deposit in your confidence bank that scares you. Send the message, post the draft, say the idea out loud. If this video helped, hit subscribe and check out the playlist on your screen. I've summarized more books like this one.